Reports this morning that the Justice Department is considering moving the upcoming 9/11 terrorism trial out of New York City. This comes 2 days after Mayor Michael Bloomberg revealed he had changed his mind and now hopes that trial will be held elsewhere. Attorney General Eric Holder announced plans in November to put professed 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 others on trial in federal court in New York, right in the shadow of Ground Zero. So for all the latest on this, we're joined by NBC Justice correspondent Pete Williams. And Pete, with a good morning. Certainly lots of pressure to move this trial, but what do we know about the reports of any alternative locations?
Yeah, the pressure has grown, and Alex, it's a done deal here. This idea of having the trial in New York City is now a dead letter. So the question is, where else? And a couple of things about that. One is they could try to keep it in what's called the Southern Judicial District, which would mean someplace outside New York City, maybe Stewart Air Force Base, maybe someplace else like that. But the other thing that people are starting to say about this now is that New York City has now laid down a marker here. It has now shown other cities how they could try to keep any future terror trials out as well. So that creates a different problem. And the other problem, Alex, now is there's growing political pressure, having gotten this far, on the administration not to have any civilian trials at all. That'll be the next test for the Obama administration, to see if they can hold the line on having these trials as they want to in civilian court and not be forced by Congress or some other reasons to put them on trial in military commissions.
So, Pete, the initial idea to put this trial here in the shadow of 9/11, how much was that an emotional thing, you know, like putting a big signal out there, sending a message to the rest of the world, we can handle this, we're not afraid of these guys? How much was it a factor thinking we've got some of the best federal prosecutors here, these are the guys that know how to do terror, and we're having them go after them?
I think those are both factors, the idea of having it at the scene of the crime. And the other thing is experienced judges in New York who have handled terror trials before and can negotiate these difficult questions about how do you work with classified evidence and work around that. So there were lots of reasons, the judges, the prosecutors, all those factors, but they've had to give way to growing concerns from New York City officials about the increased threat from bringing the trials there, the cost, and the disruption.
Okay, Pete Williams, as always, many thanks.
You bet.